Well, hello guys and welcome back to another video, and in this one I'm going to show you guys how to write C# code. For those who don't know, I am a computer engineering student slash backend developer at a company. I used C# to create games and now I do backend development. Introduction done. So I've been thinking about doing this for a long time now. And in this episode, I'm just going to mention the basics of coding and to give you guys a jump start on coding. I remember myself 2-3 years ago wanting to code, develop games, but lacking motivation. So I'm hoping this video might help you guys get started. And if you guys want more videos like this, I might make series on how to develop games, or I might just do tutorials on backend development. It's really up to you. So leave a like, comment down below, give interaction, and that will determine whether or not I'm going to keep doing this on this channel, or maybe I can switch to another channel for coding since I do Skyblock in this channel, and maybe I won't continue at all. So first of all, what is C#? C# is a coding language which is developed by Microsoft that is used mostly for backend development and game development. Backend development using ASP.NET Core and game development using Unity. You can also build like desktop applications or mobile applications, but it's not ideal because there are better ways or better languages, better frameworks for them. So why are we in this page? Well, to get started, you will need an IDE, which is a fancy text editor, basically. So I recommend, if you're going to code C# using Visual Studio by Microsoft. If you have a Mac, you can use Visual Studio for Mac, or you can use Visual Studio Code. I would not recommend using Visual Studio Code because it might require more plugins, configurations, which will confuse you. Since you're a beginner, it's best if you use Visual Studio because it's a lot easier and a lot more comfortable for C#. Well, I am not using Visual Studio. I will be using Rider, because I think the best IDE for Mac is Rider. I also think best IDE for Windows is Rider as well, but at least it has competition on the Windows. So let's get started. Okay, let's open your IDE and press on New Solution. Then we are going to create a console app, which I will explain what it does later. And then hit create. If you are having trouble creating a project or getting errors and stuff like that, then you probably don't have the .NET SDK. It's best if you download one. I will link all 3 of these in the description. So you created your project. Here you are. There's a line of code here that says console.writeLine hello world, which basically does this. Let's open up the terminal here and hit start, so program will run, and running is done. Execution is complete. Now let's see. At the terminal, it says hello world, and then says process finished. So if you are using Visual Studio or you're doing this in Windows, the terminal might have opened and then immediately closed. That's because this thing right here, process finished, when you finish a process, it will exit. So you're gonna wanna, if you wanna see this, you're gonna wanna add some line of code here that will prevent it from exiting. I am using console.writeLine, which I will explain in a bit what it does. Now let's run again and see. There we go. Another hello world, but as you can see, there's no process being exited. Now if I press enter, and then process will be finished. Now you might probably guess what these things do. This does show an output to the terminal, and this does get an input from terminal, which is basically what coding is all about. As you can see here, there's a search bar over here. Now, if I hit search, you can see there's an input here. I use like Visual Studio. I write this, then hit search, which is an input, and now I get output over here. Basically what it does, yeah. So if I were to take this line of code and put it over here, I will not be seeing hello world. Let me show you. Yep, build is succeeded. As you can see, there's no hello world. And if I hit enter, there's my hello world, and then program exited. Okay. So, as I said, this takes input. Upon pressing enter, I can write something else entirely. I'm just sending nothing when I'm pressing enter. I can send like Ulas, right? Which is my name, by the way. It's not Ulas, but Ulash. Okay. So when I press enter, Ulas, hello world, and process finished. Ulas is there because I entered it to the terminal. If I put it like this, you will see it also stays here. So it has nothing to do with writing like console write line. So whatever. Right. So now you might say, I don't want to print hello world. I want to print my name. How may I do that? I just send my name, but I never used it. So there's something called assigning. Let's see. If I want to assign a text, I'm gonna use the keyword string. Now string, then something which declares the string. Let's say test string, and then assign it, then quotation marks, double, and inside you write your name like this here, hello world, quotation marks. You can see. Then you might see that there's an error here which says, if you go to problems, semicolon is expected. Then you're gonna wanna hit the semicolon, because in C#, after every line of code, you're gonna need to put a semicolon in there. That's how compiler knows. Compiler is the thing that compiles the code, and then so you can execute it. That's how compiler knows what to execute at a time, I guess. Now we have the test string. If you go up here, it says it's only assigned, but its value is never used, which means I need to use this. We said that we want to print out our name, so instead of this, I'm going to put test string in here, and then hit run again and see what happens. Nothing happened. Why is that? Ah, well, it's because the console.read line. I'm pressing enter, and as you can see, my name popped up in the terminal. Let's get rid of this for the time being. Now, I could have just done this instead. Delete here and put Ulas in here. Now I don't need the test string, right? So run it, and you will see Ulas in the terminal. Yeah, but that's pretty cool and all, but I want this to be given by the user which uses the application. I don't want to be the one, the coder, assign this variable statically, but rather I want my user to give the string so I can show it to the screen. Well, that's where console.readLine comes in. Now let's declare a string again. String test string. Now you might give another name like my variable or hello. Like, nothing matters as long as you're not using a keyword. Like you can't do string, but you can use keyword. Okay, so console.readLine. Now there's also read line, read key, which we'll be getting in later if we have time left. But yeah, read line. Now ignore this for the time being. This really doesn't matter. So we get the keyword like this. Now this might be confusing if you're a beginner, but this returns, this function right here returns, as you can see, a string. Then this string right here is assigned to the keyword string right here, and then we take this keyword and replace this in the function console.writeLine that takes a string as a parameter. As you can see, writeLine string value. Now let's run the application and see what it does. As you can see, it makes us wait because there's a console.readLine over here. And I'm going to type the verdant, and it prints out the verdant, as you can see. Now let's do something real from what we learned. I'm giving you a task. You're going to pause the video for about as long as you like, but 5 to 10 minutes, and see if you can code it yourself, and then continue the video to check if you did it right or you did it wrong, to see where you're missing. So the task is this. You're a teacher that is going to grade 5 students. Student names are Gloria, Cameron, Jay, Alex, and Manny. Each student name will pop up in the screen, and then it will ask you to grade them. And at the end, when you're done grading, you will see the sum of all 5 students' points. How's that sound? Okay, there you go. Now to the solution. We have the names Gloria, Cameron, Jay, Alex, and Manny, and we will need to be printing them one by one. So console.writeLine Cameron, no, Gloria's first. Gloria, let's say like grade Gloria, and then leave a space. I'm going to use console.write, which is exactly the same, except it doesn't skip a line after printing the string grade Gloria. Now we are going to need a value, string Gloria grade. Then we are going to need to console.readLine. Console.readLine. Then if you want to, I guess you can write also Gloria's grade is. Now, how do you do this? Of course, you're going to put a plus sign and then Gloria grade. I guess you can probably guess that by the context. But if you didn't know, there you are. And then you are going to want to console.write, ask for grade Cameron, and then another Cameron grade, console.readLine, then console.writeLine Cameron's grade. Yep. Let's leave a space between them. Now we are going to ask the user to grade J. J's grade is J grade. Yep. Then console.write grade Alex, and then string Alex grade, console.readLine Sorry about that. Now at last, grade many grade. Yeah, there we go. All 5 of them. We ask user to grade every one of them and then prints out their grade. We are pretty much done, except we will need the summation all 5 of their grades. But now let's just see if this works or not. Hit the run. It says grade Gloria. I'm gonna give 15. Gloria's grade is 15. Grade Cameron, I'm just gonna do this so you can see better. Grade Cameron, 20. Grade J, 12. Grade Alex, 14. Grade Manny. Well, we did a right line over there, so that's why it skipped the line. So grade Manny, 10, I guess. And the Manny's grade is 10. Everything's working perfectly. Except I wanted to do right instead of right line. Now you see the difference. So it's fine. We need the summation of all 5 of their grades, right? So if I were to do this, it will all be fine. Console.WriteLine sum equals then let's say actually it's better if we get the summation first, right? So string sum equals Manny grade plus Cameron grade plus Gloria grade plus J grade plus Alex grade plus who's missing? No one. Okay, that's all 5 of them. And then plus sum, right? If we do this, it should work perfectly. So to demonstrate, I'm just gonna give them 10. So the summation should be 50. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Wait a minute. That's not 50. That's 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. That's 5, 10. And you know why? It's because this is a string. This means it's a text. When you combine a text, like this thing is a text. When you combine 2 texts, it becomes like this. When you combine 2 numbers, it becomes this. So we need numbers, not texts. So how do we do that? We change string into integer. And that's int keyword right here. And right as we did that, we get errors. A lot of errors. That's because these things are string and the compiler does not know that these strings are integers. We write 10, but someone else might write, I don't know, their name, for example. So how do we prevent that from happening? Well, to prevent that from happening, you might check whether or not if this is a number. And how do you do that, you might ask? You're gonna use another function. So you're gonna use int point TryParse. Now what this does is a bit more complicated than what we already seen. Now you pass a string parameter right over here, and then you put a comma, and then you pass the second parameter, which is the keywords out int Gloria grade integer. Now, why did we do that? Because when we actually do this, it checks whether or not if we can convert a string into an integer, and if so, it returns true, and if not, it returns false. Now, this right here is useless because we are going to need to store whether or not if it returns true or not, and if it doesn't return true, we will need to show some kind of an error because grade cannot be not integer in this program, at least. I mean, it can be double, it can be float, it can be decimal, but for now it's integer. All right, now true or false is a boolean, so we are going to say bool Gloria is integer equals integer TryParse Gloria grade string, and if it does, give me the Gloria grade integer. So we just need one more check. We have the true or false value, but we also need to use this value. So we have a keyword which is an if statement. Gloria is integer, which means if this boolean is true, if Gloria is integer. Another way to do this is put two equal signs and tell if this is true, but it's useless because this already says the same. If Gloria is integer, continue. But well, how do we do that? We can just put it between curly braces, but it will look bad. So instead of that, we are just going to take the opposite of if Gloria is integer, which is equals false, or we can just do equals not true, or we can just do equals Gloria is integer reverse. Yeah, exclamation mark means reverse in Boolean. So if it doesn't, well, we need to show some kind of an error and end the program. So there we go, console that write line invalid input value. Well, we did this. Let's check if it works or not, right? Oh, and we need to fix the error right here by deleting the sum which does not exist. Run the program and give a Gloria grade that's not actually a grade. Let's say grade invalid input value, but program continues. Now, why is that happening? When we do this, it doesn't actually end the program. It continues after this condition is met, continues executing. We need to exit the program. By the way, if you're going to do more than one line in an if statement, you can use curly braces like this and put your code inside those two curly braces. We need to exit the program, so we are going to use another function to exit the program, which is environment.exit, and it requires a parameter to show the exit code. So just type 0 because I mean it doesn't matter really. So let's run the program again and see if it exits. Grade Gloria, my name, invalid input value, and program finished with exit code 0. So let's keep doing this until every single one is complete. Okay, so we are done with it. Now the trick here, if you will get errors, forgot to change like Manny is integer, int TryParse Manny grade, instead it says Alex grade, or it says here like instead of Manny is integer it says Alex is integer, and then program will not exit. Trick here is not to forget when you're writing a lot of code or abstracted, which is a topic for another video. So let's test if this works or not I know we haven't used the integer grades. We will be using them after we test if this works or not. There we have it. It works. And now let's give some of them integers, and let's give like Alex, not integer, invalid input value. As you can see, it works. Now we need the sum. We need to use the integers that we assigned earlier in order to get the sum. So integer sum equals Gloria grade plus J grade plus Manny grade plus Alex grade plus Cameron grade, and don't forget the semicolon. And then we use this sum to print. Now let's see. Let's give each of them 10. 10, 10, 10, 10, and 10. Now we have it. Sum is 50. I would love to show you guys more, but I'm tired, and also we are done with the topic, and also I think we already have shown enough for first episode. I'll let you guys have some rest, and I will rest too. And if you want more, please make sure to leave a like and leave a comment, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.